This is the grossest VHS movie ever, and that's saying something. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is Thorgiween, where we're reviewing a horror film every single day, all month long. It is the penultimate day. We're on All Hallows Eve. Yes, only one more day. I cannot believe we have gotten this far. But today, in honor of us being so close to Halloween, I want to review the brand new VHS Halloween. I have been a fan of the VHS film series ever since it was first created. I thought it was such an original, great idea for an anthology series. And I will admit, it has been a franchise full of ups and downs. I love this franchise, but I will never come in here and be like, and that is a wonderful, amazing thing that they have created. Oh yes, all of them are just so brilliant. No. It is a grab bag. It is
very much so.
It is. You're going to get some good. You're going to get some bad. And I will even be the first to say, I think that there is more bad than good in the entire VHS franchise. But every single one of them still has like one really good one in there. Except for VHS Viral. That was definitely the worst of them all. No one should ever watch VHS Viral. However, going into this one, I will just say, I don't think this is one of the stronger ones.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. But there were some enjoyable segments.
I will say.
Oh, hi, Peach.
Hey, buddy. Ooh, come on in. Yes, so I did really enjoy parts of this. And it's kind of how it is with all the VHSs. The stuff that I enjoy always sticks with me, and I begin to forget the stuff that I didn't like as time goes on. Like, that very first VHS film, I love that first one. I think it's great. But anytime that I actually stop and think about it, I'm always like, well, I really love that last segment where they're going into the haunted house. I think there were some other segments in there. It's like, yeah, I really always hang on to that one segment that I enjoy so much. And I get the feeling from this one, that's going to be how it is too. Because there is one segment in here that I absolutely love. And that one is gonna it's sitting up there at like the top of my favorite VHS segment. However, ooh man, it was rough this year getting to that segment. There's some in here that I'm just like, oh my God, this is on par with Viral. This is almost as bad as like the worst of this franchise. But let's go ahead and get into it. The review that we're going to do today is going to be a little bit different because normally we do like a little plot summation until we get to the spoilery stuff, then we give our score on it, and then we go into the actual spoiler discussion. Because this is an anthology, pretty much everything is just tiny and bite size, and then we're going to get into like immediately into spoiler stuff. So we're just going to kind of give like...
The more you describe this movie, the more it sounds like a trick-or-treat bag. Oh,
kind of, yeah.
They're bite-sized, you get good candy, you got bad candy.
You get the one shaped like a dick. Yeah, I've been thinking of that segment this entire time.
Boy.
Oh, you got some stuff to say about that one. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to basically give very brief summations of each of these and give our initial vibes on them. And then we'll go into the more spoilery stuff on this. You doing okay, bud? You stop panting the moment that I recognize you. You got that one ear poking up right now and the one ear down. Okay, let's go into it. The very first segment was called Coochie Coochie Coo. It is by Amy I do not know how to pronounce that. I'm apologizing. Zlakovic. Oh, Zlakovic. Oh, okay, that's actually not bad. Anna Zlakovic. So yeah, the first segment, Coochie Coochie Coo, or as it is better known, the writer's barely hidden fetish. Wow, between this and Justin's long dog segment in the last year's episode, this really is just becoming like every single year there's gonna be that one VHS segment that's like, what's your search history? What's going on in there? So this is about these two girls. They're about to go off to college.
So they're celebrating their last Halloween.
Yeah, and they're going around, they're trick-or-treating, and there are all these kids going up, and they're telling them, you're too old to trick-or-treat, you can't trick-or-treat, or else mommy's going to get you. And they're like, mommy doesn't exist. So clearly it's some kind of a myth that this neighborhood, this town knows, some mysterious figure called mommy. And they're going up there and they're trick-or-treating, and there's even people saying like, aren't you too old to trick-or-treat? And their excuse is, no, we're babies, because they're dressed up like babies. They're like in onesies, they have baby masks on. And towards the end of the night, they're starting to run out of places to go to. And then all of a sudden, this mysterious house appears to them. And they go inside the house. And the moment they get inside, they're trapped inside. And there's all this baby imagery around. And they start seeing figures in there, and there's... Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. The house is obviously run by some kind of a ghost. They start finding all these clues about some woman who died while she was pregnant, and they start finding adults who are dressed up and acting like babies in there, including they even end up seeing... They keep talking about how they used to have a friend who was a cheerleader who disappeared last year, and they end up finding her in there.
She's been baby-fied.
But yeah, it's weird. Like, you see their faces... And it's not like them normally. No, they have like big swelled up cheeks and big eyes. Like they look like baby dolls.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing, okay, I have said it before, but one of my biggest fears is that idea of your body turning into something that you don't control. And that even goes for your mind, like brainwashing, anything like that. So on some level, I did get creeped out by this segment. However, God, Pete, you were right in front of her face.
It's a good thing you're doing all the talking.
Yeah, it's good. All right, there you go. Lean in a little bit. There you go. Perfect, buddy. So yeah, on some level, I did find this creepy, but this also just came off way too much like trying hard to be shock value to me. Like there's a moment in which they find what looks like a breast pump, except that there's multiple nipples on it. And then they see just some figure just tied up with this like muzzle thing on their mouth, just pumping milk into them nonstop. I was like, all right, yeah, you're trying to just be really disturbing here. But then you end up seeing the mommy. And the first time that we see them, they're in shadows in a doorway and they're really tall, really thin. They've got like a hood on and they're holding out a trick-or-treat bag. And that is a really creepy design. That is a great creepy design. Oh, man, as somebody who loves like witches and stuff, like that definitely gave me that vibe of like, oh, you made a really good creepy witch. It's awesome. But then we see them in light, and their dress is wide open, and they've got like 6 saggy boobs that are constantly leaking out milk. I'm like, all right, dude, you killed it. It was creepy when she was there in the doorway, couldn't quite make her out, something paranormal, and now you're just going for shock value, and it just doesn't work for me. And that's kind of what this entire segment was.
Yeah.
It was just trying too hard for shock value, but I kept seeing areas where it was like, man, you could have made something good from this. Like, there's that moment where they go into the house and then they try and get out, but the door is now gone. I've said this in our Night of the Demons review. I'm a sucker for that. Something paranormal just takes away your exit. Yeah, that creeps me out. But man, yeah, it just is nothing but just shock value. Right, one hit right after another. And it just numbed me down. I was like, I don't really care anymore, man. It's just kind of dull. I did think that there was some... I still want to give them some credit, though. I think there was some... They had the goal of, like, create a monster out of, like, someone who tries to turn people into babies.
Mm-hmm.
And they did some creepy... They did some interesting stuff with that. Like, a lullaby that brainwashes you. It's like, okay, that's you being creative in there. But then you'll do another thing where they go and they find, like, the changing room and there's just, like, dirty diapers everywhere. It's like, again, you're just going for the shock value line. Mm-hmm. I feel like you had potential on this one. I just keep thinking, the perfect metaphor is just the first time that we see the mommy, and she's there, tall, gangly, long arm, hood over her head, like, oh man, that's great. And the moment that you see her in light, it's like, I don't know, just coming with some really gross thing. And it's like, oh, come on, man. Also, gotta point this out, there's a moment in which they're exploring the house, and there's a couple of cool, creepy, like, little hints that they're finding in the house. And then they find just an image of a ghost yelling in there. And I was like, wow, that's AI. That took me, like, I spotted that instantly. And I will say this, I don't have the eye for that. Like, I'm that guy who looks at Henry Cavill's face in Justice League and is like, yeah, that looks fine. Like, I do not have the eye for bad special effects.
I must have missed it because I didn't see it.
I saw, it was a face just going, like, just screaming. Like, it was just a photo, like, on the mantle of, like, a ghost screaming. And I looked at it and went, wow, even me looking at this with like a shaking camera, even I could tell that was AI. And apparently they have come out and addressed this. And they said, and like the director was like, I hate AI. I am so sorry for that. We did not know. We didn't realize. And the story that I have heard is that they claim that they just found it online and then they just used that. And I was like, you can't do that in a movie either. You can't just find a random image online and then print that out and put it in your movie. you have to give credit then to where that source material came from and probably pay them in order to use that. I was like, you can't, like, yeah. So
Like-
even the excuse that I heard doesn't really work
It's like,
out.
either way, you're kind of an asshole.
It didn't work out. Yeah, that was a bad idea. But yeah, this one, it was not strong. That's a shame. It was a strong start. I keep thinking of that image of mommy standing in the doorway. It's like, that is good and creepy. I'm like, man, after that, you just wanted shock value, and it didn't work for me. I don't know. How'd you feel about this one?
Yeah, I definitely felt the same way. I kept thinking, I don't know if this is like spoilers, but like Barbarian.
A little.
Yeah.
It's oddly, it is spoilers. Not for this film, though. But yeah, if you've seen Barbarian, you know. And yeah, I totally get that feeling. Yeah, definitely. Man, I would be shocked if they hadn't seen Barbarian, and maybe that's what gave them the idea for this. But yeah, it's you had an idea, but you tried way too hard to be going to. But that's one of my biggest problems with so many of the VHS films is that they try way too hard to be shocking, and we'll get into that even more later. But the next film is from Paco Plaza called Ut Supra Sic Infra, which Paco Plaza is one of the two fellows who created Rec. So that was kind of cool to get in there.
So that's why it's in Spanish.
And it's also why this is actually good. Yeah, this one, I will admit, I still have some problems with this one, but it is because I am a found footage purist. In my mind, found footage should be, it feels like you just found a tape on the side of the road and you just shoved into a VCR and now you're watching the last remains of this footage. Just something really creepy. And I will admit, Coochie Coochie Coo nailed that. Did very well. Except for the part where they had to rewind the tape and it's like, that's not how a found footage works. It's, all right, whatever. You're doing fine the rest of this. This one, it is footage from these people who went to a Halloween party and they're investigating where this old witch used to live. Well, this person who says that they were a witch used to live. But then it's also a police investigation going back to that place with the one survivor of that. And it's splicing the two footages back and forth. And in terms of like good storytelling, yeah, that's great. Like, I can't deny it. That is a really good way to tell this story. But again, it is my personal nitpick, just being that found footage purist, that I'm just like, that's not how found footage works, but okay, it's fine.
Yeah, sometimes, like, you can only, like, do so much with found footage, unfortunately, so you kind of need to bend the rules every now and then.
I understand. Yeah, I get. But yeah, this one, I think it's good and creepy. They get there, and they are exploring this place where they said that the witch did, like, all of her little, like, rituals, and then they find a phone in there, and the person who is giving them the tour is like, that's not supposed to be here.
And everyone thinks it's, like, part of the tour,
show,
like, yeah.
And then it starts ringing, and then we'll get into more of the spoiler stuff after that. But I think that one's genuinely good and creepy. I think they do some good stuff with the camera work there at the very end of it. This one, it's one of the simplest ones of the entire movie.
Sometimes simple is better.
Especially in found footage, in all honesty, yeah. So I think this one works. It is really there for like one really good scare, and they do it. After that, it was, all right. Next one's Fun Size.
Oh, this one.
This, you actually said during the middle of this is the worst one. And we were halfway through it, and you were already, no, I'm ready to declare this is the worst one. This is actually by the person who is by Casper Kelly, who actually did Too Many Cooks.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, Too Many Cooks. Yeah.
Now that you mentioned, I can definitely sense the humor. But...
I 100%, I didn't know that watching this, but as I was watching this, I was like, this is some, like, person who's done, like, viral jokes of videos online. Yeah. Like, it's somebody who they've worked, like, for one of those, like, you know, Smosh TV or something like that, where they become, like, just really goofy, like, skits, or they have done, like, some kind of an Adult Swim thing. It's gotta be something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure enough, it's an Adult Swim thing.
Yeah. Does not work as a horror found footage film.
Is.
Just...
It's weird. I was hating this as well. But towards the end, I started to loosen up on it some. It's not my least favorite of them, but it was neck and neck with my least favorite of them tonight. So we're following two couples, one of whom recently got engaged. And we see as like the lady from the not engaged couple is talking to the brand new fiance, There's a moment where they take the camera by themselves, and you're like, you gotta tell him, you can't like go through with this. Like, listen, I'm just waiting for the right time to break it off with him. Like, it is clear the fiance does not want to marry this guy. And yeah, he sucks. He is awful. Like, every fucking line out of his mouth is, can you believe that we're going to get married? Oh, are you ready to be my loving wife? Oh, can you just wait to settle down with me and raise our children together? And just, oh, the dude is lean into it so freaking hard, which is one of the reasons why, yeah, I get the joke they're going for, but they're leaning into it so hard that I was like, I am not, like, there is a disconnect here of reality in which I'm just like, I cannot. Found footage needs to have a little bit of a sense of realism to it. That's the entire point of it. And this feels like somebody who just wanted to do a skit, and then they were forced to do it as found footage. Yeah. And that feels so obvious because they're going, okay, what are your Halloween costumes? Like, okay, so you're a superhero, you're a pirate. What are you two? And the fiancés are both just decked down cameras, and they go, oh, we're the people from a found footage movie. You know how you always ask why are they always holding the camera? So we built this entire thing around our heads to constantly have cameras attached to us. Like, oh my God, dude. When you stop and turn to the actual camera and go, this is a found footage movie, it's like, man, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's, again, I will admit, I really like found footage, and I'm kind of a found footage purist. I fucking hate when people come in here and try and be clever with that. It's like, dude, just don't do the found footage. Again, it's reminding me of VHS Viral, where the showrunner for that film flat out said, like, yeah, I didn't really want to do the found footage formula. It's like, then don't do the film. Don't sign up for the VHS anthology film if you don't want to do found footage. And that's one of the reasons why that is one of the worst ones. But this one I was watching, like, all right, dude, geez, you're already off to a bad start. But they find a bowl of candy, and it says, only take one.
Yeah, one per person.
One per person.
That should have been the title.
Yes.
Because it's being said so much. You see so many signs saying one per person. So to find out that this movie was actually called Fun Size is like, really?
I've heard, I watched some other reviews of this, and everyone was like, why wasn't this called one per person? Yeah, everyone is in agreement with that. So they start picking it up, and it's candy that they've never seen before. It sounds like weird German candy almost.
And like the thing is, like, one of like the fiance guy, I think he was like complaining about how candy is always the same every year and how corporate everything is. Like, okay, shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, and they pick it up, and they open up one, and it's a penis. It is 100% a penis inside this thing, and he bites into it, and it's got white cream just going down his face, which, as I said, this is the grossest VHS segment, like, not segment, just this entire VHS is the grossest VHS ever. So yeah, the dude is, like, biting into a chocolate penis that's coming down his face. But then he goes back for another one, and a hand comes out and grabs him, and I was like, okay, that's a good joke, which I will admit, it's kind of clever that they're doing a twist on that, because that is a gag that people do with their, like, when they leave a candy bowl out at night, they'll, like, hide underneath it and, like, have the hand going. That's a pretty, like, to do something clever with that, that's a good, like, celebration of Halloween. But then they get pulled in. They all get, like, sucked into this, and they wake up in what looks like...
two of them got sucked in, and then the other two, like, you just see the candy bowl zooming in at them.
It flies up, and then, which I will admit, if this is supposed to be a comedy segment, that is like that level of corny special effects I enjoyed. I thought that was pretty good.
But as far as horror goes, no.
Here's the thing. I will admit, if you're doing an anthology, you're allowed to have one of these not be horror and have it be comedy themed. I'm okay with that. I'm not opposed to that. I just didn't like the humor in here.
Yeah.
But they get sucked in, and they wake up in, like, a big warehouse. It looks like one of those, like, the back rooms, like, liminal space horror things.
Yeah.
And they wake up in there, and there's some guy in there who, if you have ever played, not Slap Happy Rhythm Busters, what was it? Oh, God, I can't remember the name of the game. All right, never mind. But he looks like he's just got, like, this big round face on, like, just some really cheesy mascot, which... I do not think the suit looks good. I apologize. I do not think the outfit looks good. I know that they're going for, like, cheap and basic. It looks too cheap. Like, it looks like, man, it just doesn't look good to me. I'm sorry. But the guy, all he can say is, fun size, which that's why it's called Fun Size. And he just keeps saying fun size over and over again. And they end up finding a big conveyor belt, And the non-fiance guy, the guy dressed as a pirate, gets sucked up into it. And he's now strapped into it, and he's getting just pulled into the machine. And then you get a really graphic sequence of it just chopping him up inside and like it taking his eyes, his brain, his penis, which they make sure to focus on that one. And then it goes and gets like caramel and nougat splashed all over it, and it's turned into the candy. And he had the key to escape. So they started like looking through there, like, oh man, we gotta get the key out here. And all I can think was, you saw the hand, like there's a video footage showing you the hand holding the key, getting like bagged up. You know which one it's in, and I don't know, it is a very minor nitpick, but at this point, like we were so done with this segment that I was like, nah, I'm fine nitpicking at this moment. And they were just looking through all the bags, and I was just like, you saw the bag it went. Also, it's a hand. Why are you opening up the bags the size of Jolly Ranchers looking for it? But yeah, so everybody ends up, so they end up trying to escape, and okay, that does get into more spoilery stuff, so we won't go any further, but I'll just say, towards the end of it, I kind of started to vibe with it a little bit, like towards the end when they're trying to make the escape, I was like, I'm not upset with it anymore. I'm kind of feeling the sense of humor in here. They did just enough stuff to be interesting. But the first half of this, I was like, ooh, this is rough. I do not like this in any way. I don't know. You hated it way more than me, though.
Like, it just felt like the way you felt with Coochie Coochie Coo is like they were too much shock value.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of gross out humor and everything. And also, like, the second half, it felt too much like mascot horror video game.
I've heard other people make that comparison, yes. It does almost feel like somebody tried to make, like, not Five Nights at Freddy's, but one of those thousands of rip-off games that come out. Yeah, it's got that vibe to it. It definitely does.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, though, I do like the final gag that goes out on, and one of the reasons why the shock value doesn't hurt me quite as much is because they do go pretty over the top with it, but it's still kind of like, you are just trying to be shock value, it feels like. But at least it's a little bit cartoony, which is why it worked a little bit more for me.
I guess I wasn't expecting cartoony in a horror movie.
Yeah, I'm thinking of all the VHS segments, I think this is the most cartoonish one.
Yeah.
This is definitely the most, like, slapstickish. Like, it is not within the bounds of reality in any way. Like, it is just a cartoon.
And that's kind of like frustrating because like you said, there needs to be some sort of realism in found footage because it needs to be like, oh, this is a real thing that someone left behind. I need to see what actually went on and how did this get here.
Yes.
So like if I saw this, I'd be like, oh, someone's just doing a silly little skit and they wanted to like scare everybody. This is bullshit. So.
Yeah, which I will say, I do have that feeling that found footage needs a sense of realism, but because this one is definitely trying to be like, we are the goofy joke Adult Swim one, it's like, okay, I will judge you as that. I'm not judging you as a normal VHS film, I am judging you as this goofy, wacky Adult Swim tone kind of thing, and judging it as that, I, towards the end, was okay with it, but I still don't think it's very good.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like comedy skits need to be short. And this one went on too long.
It did go on too long. I'll definitely agree. That's the thing about this entire VHS. It's 2 hours long.
Yeah.
It's too long.
It did not need to be that long. You definitely could have cut out, like, one of the segments.
I'm not even one of the segments. I can definitely think of some specific moments throughout this entire thing where I'm like, cut that, cut that, cut that, cut that. You could keep all the segments in here. I was like, just make them shorter. Like, the Coochie Coochie Coo one, we did not need them running around that house for that long. And that is a thing. That's a problem I have with this entire VHS segment. It's because it's themed around Halloween, it's hitting a lot of similar notes. Like, I mean, this one even has another guy in it saying, aren't you too old to trick or treat?
Yeah. I honestly thought it was like the same actor from the other one.
Which I was like, it's not.
I know,
but at this point, you should just go with that. If you're gonna do that in two of these, do it in a third one. Have it be the same guy. But because all these are made completely separately with nobody talking to each other, like there's no way that could happen.
Yeah,
and that's
just
why
a sheer coincidence. But
but there's a lot of similar tones in here. Like even the one that I love here at the end, a lot of these are running. Oh my god! And I know you're gonna say, well, that's a lot of VHS. It doesn't have to be. And we've seen that in previous VHS anthologies. You don't have to go that route with all of them. And a lot of these are, we're trapped in a place running around screaming, how do I get out? How do I get out? That has a lot of them this year. And I was like, you could edit a lot of that running and screaming out. And moving into the fourth segment, kid print. You could absolutely cut a lot of this one out.
I actually kind of forgot about this one.
I think this is the most forgettable one. The only reason why I didn't forget is because it's also my least favorite. And the shame is, I think it's got a great start to it. Because there's this program that was done back in the 80s and 90s that was offered up by Blockbuster, where, and I even remember this, where they were afraid of like kids being abducted. And this was back before everyone had cell phones. And there were like thousands of photos of your kids just laying around in your phone in your pocket at all times. So Blockbuster offered up this thing where you could go and just have your kid and they would stand up against like the like height chart and they would ask you questions, get like your name, all that information. So that way, if your kid went missing, they could use this to try and locate you. So some guy at a local, it's not even like a video store itself.
Like an electronics?
It's like an electronics store, yeah.
Like a Radio Shack almost.
Kind of, yeah. He's offering up that service himself. And so you got this whole segment of a lot of kids coming in there and they're all standing there and they're all being like videotaped for this. And they keep getting all these reports of, yeah, but there was another kid that went missing. There was another kid went missing. Another kid was found dead. So there's clearly something going on in the neighborhood. And the guy who has the camera is so obsessed with, no, as long as I'm filming everybody's safe. Isn't this fun? Hey, everybody, smile for the camera. Like, he is obsessed with getting everybody on camera at all time. And it definitely has that vibe of, oh, you're the killer, and that's going to be the big twist. And we will get into the spoiler section on this later, but we'll just say, I think they actually did a decent twist on it, but when I look back at it, I'm like, you did not actually do enough to set up that twist. And then it just holds on this for so goddamn long. And that's what killed this for me. I think it's actually a really good, creepy startup to this. Nice little mystery in there. And then the moment that the reveal gets made, it is just, how much gross shit can I show you and for how long? How much time do we got to fill on this thing? We gotta fill all this up. Let's just go, baby. Come on. You wanna get my lap now, buddy?
No. She just wants to sniff your hands every time you clap or snap.
But yeah, I was just like, dude, you had something good here and you just didn't know when to end.
Yeah.
And it just went on and it's just pure shock value. That's all that is. I was like, dude, this is going on for too goddamn long. And I'm not like, any kind of enjoyment out of like the twist and the suspense and the thrill of it, it's gone at this point. You just did not know when to stop this. Yeah, I just have a huge problem with this one. But moving into the final segment, which by the way, before we get into the final segment, we should talk about the wraparound segment.
Yes.
What was it called? Like
Diet Phantasma?
Phantasma, that's it. It is just these scientists, it's just these scientists, they're in a lab and they're testing out this brand new soda. And people like open up the soda and then like a bunch of tentacles come out and start attacking them, or like they start like melting, or they just flat out explode. Like this one is definitely meant to be goofier. It is not meant to be nearly as creepy as a lot of the other wraparound segments. And yeah, which we were talking about fun size and about how it's like, man, okay, you're allowed to do some goofy stuff in here. I just don't think this was good. This is pretty good goofy stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I kind of like this one. The only problem that I really have with it is I'm singing into the couch again.
And I can't do anything because Peach is on me.
Yeah, so you're just gonna be a foot shorter than me this entire video.
Like, Peach is gonna be the only one you can see.
Oh, this is our found footage film. It's just about Peach just singing us into the quicksand couch. Yeah, I mentioned that, you're allowed to do some goofy stuff in here, but I just didn't think that fun size was actually funny at all. This one's actually got some good, like, cartoonish shock value in there. My only real problem with it is that, as I said, I am a found footage purist, and this is so clearly, like, multiple cameras that no one is holding.
Right.
Recording this, I'm just like, this is just a mini short horror film that you just put a CT filter on top of. That's all that it is. You just put, like, the 80s, like, wavy lines on top of it. It's like, all right, I do have a problem with that, but I just have to accept that they're like, you're not going to get 6 people every single year who genuinely want to do a found footage film. But I will also say, I think it works for the story they want to tell in here, shooting it that way, because it does kind of have that vibe of like, this is a training tape, or this is like the documentation.
Yeah, documentation.
It's the documentation.
So that's why it kind of fits in the found footage but
Yeah.
not quite.
And I do love the final reveal that happens
Yes.
during the credits when they actually show the commercial for the soft drink they've been making. Not going to spoil that, but I genuinely really like that. So, final segment is my favorite, and it's in my top 5 favorite VHS segments. I love this one.
This was a good one.
Yeah. Haunted House. It starts off, it's a home movie of this dad who is putting together a haunted house with his kid, and man, they're great. They're both loving it. His kid dresses up like Igor, and like his dad is like Dr. Like Mortismo or something like that. Is like has like his own little like creepy horror host theme to him. It's so fun, so charming. Then it cuts to present day, and by present day I mean the 90s or something.
So the kid's all grown up, and he does not want to do any more haunted
Not
houses.
even grown up. He's in high school.
Like, he's in that age where like I'm too old for this. This is all baby stuff. This is dumb.
And also, it's like, God, all the kids at school keep calling me Igor, and I can't get a girlfriend because everybody knows my dad is the haunt house guy. God, which that's the thing that's going to happen when your kids turn to teenagers. They're going to be like, oh man, all that kitty stuff, it's not fun anymore. Then many more years go around, and they're like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. And they circle back around. You just gotta accept that's gonna be a thing that happens. But the mom comes in there and like talks to the kid, and he's like, fine, I'll help you out one more time with this. And the dad is like goofy. And he's kind of an idiot too, but he also like just genuinely loves doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell like this is the highlight. And it's not just because he loves Halloween. He also just loves spending time with his family.
Yeah.
He seems like he is a flawed, dumb guy, but he has a big heart. Like you get that vibe from him. And you also get the sense that the wife just loves doing this with the whole family. So they go to a thrift store and they're looking around for good spooky things that they can use as props. And then he sneaks into the employees only room. He's like, yeah, you gotta find the employees only stuff.
Yeah,
And
that's where all the good stuff is
is.
hiding.
And then he finds a record, and this record looks great. It looks like a record you would find of like spooky haunted sounds.
Yeah.
Except that it's got like a kid being ripped up on the cover, but it's still got that art style that you would expect.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a good contrast in there. All right. And he goes, all right, my son thinks this is too like kiddie, and this is too young for him. All right. This looks like something that'll spice things up. So he gets that. And again, just like kind of paint the picture on, like the kid sees that he did this, like, Dad, you're stealing stuff now? I was like, I left some money on the counter. Like, so clearly, like, he's an idiot. He should not do this. But he also has the heart of like, yeah, but I paid for it. So it's all right. Yeah. You can tell he's a big kid himself. So he sets up this haunt house. And it looks awesome. This is a genuinely really cool haunted house they put together. And he's got a line of everybody outside, and they're filming everybody in line. I love it. There's like the cheerleader who the son like has the crush on. She's like, whatever. But then there's like the cheerleader friend next to him, and you can tell she's got a crush on the son. And it's like, man, just that little bit of storytelling. I just love that so much. And there's like the cheerleader's younger sister there, and then there's the asshole neighbor. And the asshole neighbor is just there to like talk shit about how bad his haunted house looks. Do you know who played the neighbor?
No.
I didn't know this while watching this. I had to like watch a review to find this out. That is Rick Baker.
Oh.
Legendary special effects artist, Rick Baker. I
mean, if you are to have anyone judge your practical effects, Rick Baker would be the ultimate judge.
That is such a good cameo. The guy who did like The Exorcist and American Werewolf in London, like some of the best horror special effects of all time. The neighbor who comes in and goes, all your special effects look terrible, Dave. Dave, your special effects are terrible. They're just the worst things ever. He goes, come on, Richard. Like, you can just tell, like, he's not even trying to be mean back to him. He's like, come on, Richard, don't be like that. Which I love they called him Richard, too. Like, just enough of a hint in there. I did not know this, and after I found that, I was like, this is awesome. That is the best cameo I have ever seen. I love it. Yeah, legendary special effects guy talking... Jesus. Okay, I'll stop.
Nope,
still going. All right. Oh, somebody's haunted house just exploded. All right. They should have played that record. So anyway, they then go, we'll save this for the spoiler part, but let's just say they go in there, they turn on the record, it starts playing, and everything goes to hell. Like, it is just a nightmare for that. Like, the entire haunted house comes to life.
Yeah.
And that is such a good idea. Because it's like, okay, we've seen the haunted houses where it's like, no, there's actually a real serial killer inside. No, there's actually a monster inside. We've even reviewed a film about that earlier this month. But this is one in which like, no, all the like decorations and effects come to life. So you've got stuff like the big sheet ghost comes to life and attacks people. It's like, that's great. And you go into like, okay, this is this room that we built, but now it's like an actual thing. It's not like
this is the torture chamber. Oh, but the torture devices are real. Like,
and there's actually like a guy swinging an axe around in there. And there's like a whole nice progression in there of like, you know, when the characters get taken out one by one. And like you see like the son is actually now trying to help out the dad. And like, so there's some nice bonding going on there. And there's a moment that I love in which they go to the next part, which again, you just think about the fact that, oh my God, this is what the haunted house was actually going to be. You had like actual segments divided up in your backyard. That's so good. But I love there's this one moment in which they go up and the next stop is like in order to get out here, they have to make it through the entire haunted house.
Right.
I love that. It's such a brilliant idea. And they go to one segment and it's a witch's cabin. And I love that the son goes, no, she's in there. And they never say anything more than that. But you get the feeling from that one line alone. This, ever since he was a kid, this was the effect that freaked him out. And now it's come to life. Like, just that one line. You don't need any more information. It's so good. And I won't say how it ends, but it is like, oh my God, you just kept going for it. This is so amazing. Like, yeah, it is easily top 3 favorite segments for VHS. I would have to actually go through and rank them all. But before this, my favorite VHS segment was from the very first VHS segment. It was that segment at the very end, where it was a group of guys going to a Halloween party, and they accidentally went to the wrong address, and they actually went to a real life haunted house. And I keep thinking, man, it really is weird that those are like battling for my 2 favorite segments right now. Very similar concepts. So yeah, in the end, what did you feel about this year's VHS? I don't think you've watched all the VHSs.
No.
Yeah, but
I definitely have watched some of them.
You've definitely watched some of them with me, yeah.
Like you said, a very mixed bag.
Yes. It is definitely, that is how VHS is. But I will say, this one definitely had more bad to me than good. Like, I didn't like Coochie Coochie Coo. I didn't like Fun Size. Excuse me. I really didn't like Kid Tape, whatever that was. I thought the wraparound segments were pretty fun. I do not remember the oh yeah, the one by the wreck guy. I thought that was good, but I was like, yeah, this is a very short, simple, creepy thing. It's like, it's fine. It's good, but it is not a big deal.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was like, you remember, like, the shitty ones, but the ones that are okay, you don't remember.
There's so many VHS segments I have forgotten because they were just fine. They're just fine. And again, I do think that he shot this thing well. I think that it's done very well, but it's short and it is one thing. And it's like, you get in there, you do that scene, and that's it. It's like, all right, you did the thing and you did it well, but it is not going to, like, stick with me for that long, I don't think. But Haunted House saved this whole thing.
That was the king-size bar at the bottom of the bag.
Absolutely, yeah. That was the MVP of this one. That is the one that is going to carry this one in my mind. So yeah, it's weird. I feel like we have to rank each of these individually almost. Coming together, I'd say it evens out to a C.
Yeah.
It was fine. Yeah, like it's okay. I do not regret watching this. But I am fully aware if you had taken Haunted House out of there, it'd be like, man, this is like a D+. Yeah, like that one did some heavy lifting. All right, spoilery stuff in here. I will say the one that was in Spanish, the one from the wreck guy, there at the end when the phone appears again and starts raining. Like, it's just really good setup. And also the whole mystery of like, well, their eyeballs went missing of all the people that you attacked. What do you do with the eyeballs? And he just starts puking up the eyeballs.
Yeah, once again, a lot of gross stuff in this VHS.
Yeah, after Coochie Coochie Coo, I was like, okay, thank goodness this one isn't that gross. And
No, they're all gross.
Yeah, which I will say, I have watched all these VHSs, and I've never gotten motion sick. I've never felt sick before while watching one of these. I was feeling sick watching Coochie Coochie Coo. Like, I was actually like, oh God, we might have to turn this off. What's going on with me? And I was like, is it just the shaky cam? Because when I was a kid, I used to get sick watching found footage.
It might be.
Not found footage, first-person shooting games.
And I'm thinking that might be it because, like you said, there was like a lot of running around in the house.
That one was a lot of running around.
And so, like, there was a lot of shaky cam going on, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was it.
Yeah. So it could have been that. It could also just have been that was very gross. But I was like, I don't know what it is, but I think it was just how much they were like moving around. Also, I guess we should point out how that one ends. That one ends with they can't escape. Mama comes up and just breaks the ribs of one of them by hugging them too much, which is like, okay, you're trying to think of like creepy things a mom could do. Hugging too hard, I guess, counts, I guess. Yeah. And then Mama comes, drags one of them away, and then the other one goes running down to the basement to try and find them. And then they find like a little like welcome baby, and it had their 2 names written on there. And there was a crib in there for a moment, and I was almost expecting her to go up to the crib and find like her friend, but now turned into a baby or something, which they didn't do that. Instead, there's just fetuses all around the house every now and then, which, again, I feel like you're just trying to be gross at that point. But then, no, they just find the room back there where she like sings to all the babies, and then all the different babies they found in the house are just there. Cuddling up around her. And
by babies, of course, we mean adults that got turned into babies.
Yeah, exactly. And then her friend is there, and she's now got the swollen up face as well. And then the person holding the camera just slowly puts it down and then just starts crawling over there as well.
Yeah, like she got like hypnotized by the lullabies.
Yeah,
so.
like, all right.
And that's
how it ends. Which I was watching a review that someone said, and they just went, so we've just decided to not care about how this footage is ever recovered, huh? It's like yeah.
No, it's like the next morning, and it's like a regular house. It's like, how did this get
That's
here?
what my assumption was, because it's like Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally what happens at Blair Witch. They go into this big mystery house, and then the camera drops down there at the end. Spoiler for Blair Witch, but I mean, seriously, everyone knows that. And then I always just assumed it was like, no, people who went out hiking during the middle of the day, they found it. Like, that's it. So that's how that one ends. The eyeball one ends there. Oh yeah, okay. So kid tape. That's not the next one. What's the next one?
Was it Fun
Size?
Yeah, the one we don't want to talk about.
Yeah, at the end of that one, I did kind of, okay, we're talking about how like the shock value of this one, I kind of came around on this one because of how cartoonish it became. I love that when the one girl, her boyfriend got chopped up on the conveyor belt, she just freaks out and goes, I'm gonna get on the conveyor belt. But she doesn't sound like panicked. She just sounds done. Mm-hmm. Like she's just like, fucking turn me into candy. I'm like, I don't know why. That kind of made me laugh a little bit.
I lost my boyfriend. My life means nothing now.
It's not even like that. It's just like, I'm gonna get on the conveyor belt. Just like she's just done. And it's just, I don't know, something about how pathetic that was kind of made me laugh. But then she gets dragged back there, and they go back and they find her, and she's now got a tube of candy going up her butt. And I thought at first, you see the tube going up there, and you see like all the candy in there. And at first I thought, is this gonna be like a really perverse Willy Wonka, and like she's pooping out candy now? Like they did something to her and now she's a candy pooping machine or something?
No, it ends up
other way around.
Yes. And her face explodes.
I was like, okay.
The candy like goes up her butt and explodes out of her face.
Which that's kind of that level of shock value that I'm like, okay, it's so cartoonish that I'm okay with it. But this is going to sound weird. I kind of wish they had done a little bit more with that, because it's just so immediately it starts going into her, and then she just her face pops up. I was like,
there needs to be more build up.
It's like, okay, like it immediately starts going in and then her face explodes. I was like, all right, have like a moment there in which he's like, what's going on back there? Nothing. Don't worry, we're going to figure this out. Like, I just sounded like, guys, I feel really full all of a sudden. Like, just like, oh, if this is supposed to be a joke, have the punchline build up to it a little bit more, I guess, instead of just way too wham bam. Like, there we go. Or go even further with the ending and have like her entire body explode or something like that. But I did kind of like that after her face explodes, she then just like mindlessly starts walking over towards the conveyor belt again. Like, I don't know, that kind of made me laugh a little bit. Then at the end, the two fiancés, they find a vent, they start crawling out the vent. Turns out the vent is another conveyor belt. It's, the absurdity of like this whole building is just conveyor belts. Like, again, it's like, okay, I don't like these characters, but it's kind of funny. I get. And then at the end, she gets out there, and I love the first thing she starts doing is trying to take off her wedding ring. I kind of like that. That's the first thing she does when she tries to escape. And then Fun Size pops up and goes, Fun Size! And smashes her head.
But like, there was another scene, like, there was a door, and they open it, and it's a brick wall with the sign, 1 per person.
Which again, that should have been the title of this entire thing.
And that's when apparently all the teenagers realized, oh,
no, they're full grown adults. Oh, they're in their 20s.
That's when the group realized, oh, that's why we're here. We took more than one. It's like, really?
You didn't realize that sooner?
You didn't realize that sooner?
You got grabbed when you went back for another piece? All right.
But, like, the thing is, I thought that sign meant only one person could leave.
That would have been better. That would have been better.
Yes, so, like, the engaged couple would have to, like, figure out which one would leave.
That would have been better. And then she, like, okay, because, like, the guy's about to get chopped up in the machine, and then the joke is just that, like, he's so focused on marriage, he's like, do you take me to be your lawfully wedded husband? Like, as he's being chopped up, and she's just like, no. And, yeah, I kind of, like, it's a little bit funny. But this is the other reason why I'm not as harsh on this. The final joke is she gets killed as well. Kind of a nice little like squash effect on like the camera when he smashes her. And then it cuts to a mom filming her kids going up there and getting the candy. And then they buy into it. It's like, wow, there's something hard. And they pull out Anne's finger with the engagement ring on. And then she's like, oh my God, what happened here? And then the son goes, I took 2. Is that okay? And then it like cuts to like the candy bowl coming at them again. Like, all right. I like that final joke. Like, as much as I did not like this segment, it's not my least favorite because it had just enough at the end to make me go, all right, it's kind of funny. All right. Like, I did not like the buildup, but I will say the very end, I was like, all right, kind of funny.
It's like, to me, it just felt too stupid to be funny.
It is way too stupid. I will admit, it is just too stupid. And, like, this is from the person who did Too Many Cooks, and Too Many Cooks is funny, but it's funny because of the length.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like with comedy, you can't. It's all about timing. So you can't drag things out because then the joke dies.
But you also need the appropriate amount of buildup, and Too Many Cooks has the appropriate amount of buildup.
Yes,
this one I don't know if it was too rushed, too long. I don't know what it was, but I was like, man, its timing is playing a big part in this.
Yeah.
So yeah. Then we go into kid tape. So anyway, they keep saying like, okay, another kid. So the guy's filming and everything, and I'm like, this guy's totally the killer, and that's gonna be the big twist. The cop tells him, hey, another kid went missing. We need to go and find that tape. He goes back to the place, goes back to where he works. The guy who we got introduced to for a split second earlier.
Yeah, the guy who edits the videos.
The guy who edits the videos.
Not
he goes back there to where that guy's supposed to be working, and he hears all these screams. And he goes in there, and he sees on all the TV screens that he was editing on are now footage of the children screaming and crying.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, what the hell is going on here? And then he turns around, and the guy is there. He attacks him. And then we get just this montage of him just peeling skin off the children as they're screaming and turning them into masks. And then he puts the mask on the guy. That segment
went on way too long.
It went on way too long, but then he puts the mask on the guy, and then he throws him to like these 2 other kids who are surviving. And he goes, and he's got like the flesh mask on him. He goes, it's okay. We're going to get out here. And then the kids attack him. And like, we just get this sequence of them stabbing him over and over again and beating him in the head with a hammer.
Because they think he's the one.
They think he's in with it because he owns the place.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, the 2 of them are working together. We have to take him out together. So again, just going on for way too long, just this long sequence of them hitting him with a hammer. And then it's like, okay, so that's how this ends. No, then we continue to get even more just long stretched out footage of him torturing the kids over and over and over. And I'm not saying over enough times. It just keeps going. Like,
and then
you had a good twist there. And you had a good creepy setup. You had a good creepy moment in on, and you just did not know when to end this. It just keeps going.
And then there was the news segment at the end.
Which I'd be okay with it ending on that. If we didn't have that long stretch out, dude, I just want this to be over with at this point. Because the ending is that everybody now blames the guy who had the camera, the guy who owns the electronics store. And they interview the editor and went, yeah, man, I had no idea. Maybe he was abused as a kid, so he just feels like a kid himself at all times. It's clear he's talking about himself. It's like, okay, I kind of dig that. And also, I will say, the guy who played the actual killer, like, he's got a good, like, creepy delivery on all his lines. Like, I think that he's actually really good in this. I think all the actors are actually good in this segment. I gotta give him credit on that. You just didn't know when to end that part, and you just kept going. It's like, dude, we get it. We know what he's doing. We know that this is what he's doing to the kids, and you're just making us watch a snuff film at this point. Like, it's just not fun. So, yeah, that's why that was my least favorite. It's like, it had a good setup. and a good twist. And although I wouldn't even say the twist is that good because we only saw that guy for 1 second.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, no, you need to have like some footage of him like talking with the store owner and back and forth. Like you need way more in there with that. You're getting sleepy. Your eyes are getting heavy, buddy. So then we go into Haunted House. And we pretty much mentioned all this stuff because it's so freaking fun. Rick Baker getting killed off by the lamest, like, just sheet ghost floating behind him. But then it like sucks him up and then twists around and you just see like the blood splurt out of this thing. He's like, oh my God, that's creepy. But yeah, like the witch who's just like devouring the little girl, like just has her, but it's not like graphic. It's not graphic. And she's just got the little girl who was there in her cauldron, just like laughing as she's cooking her up. It's just such a good level. It's like the perfect level of creative and over the top. But then at the end of that, they finally escape. But then the witch comes flying out and grabs the camera, and you get the POV shot of the witch flying around at all the trick-or-treaters, picking them up and just ripping them apart and just like doing all this crazy stuff. And just like, man, that's how you keep going. That's how when you get to that point, once you realize it to be over and you go, no, we know the exact level of over the top to continue taking this. And then at the end, the camera drops down and you see the haunt house itself, which was this big monster face with 2 hands up there. And it comes to life. Like, oh my God, yes, perfect. I love it. Oh, it's so good. Okay. And then we should also talk about the wraparound segment. Yes. That ends during the credits. They have a commercial. They finally get the recipe correct.
Yeah, basically they're trying to find someone who would be able to survive.
Well, or the right level of like the right ingredients. Like not even ingredients. They know what they're trying to do. The right level of the formula.
Right.
Yeah, they're trying to get everything just right, and they finally figure it out. And then they get the commercial, but this little girl drinks it, and her eyes go white, and then she's like, can I have some more? Like something is up with her. And then it cuts to a commercial, and it says like, Diet Phantasma, the only soda made with poltergeist. Because there's moments in which, like, after people die from drinking the soda, they then hit a machine, and you see all this white smoke getting sucked up in there. It's like, okay, it's definitely something supernatural. It's not a weird concoction. But it's also not like, some kind of like cosmic horror, because the first thing you see is like tentacles coming out. It's like, okay, it's like some kind of an alien thing. No, like the more you see the white smoke getting sucked up, it's like, I think it's supernatural of some kind. So the end in which they just flat out go like, no, we made a soda out of ghost. It's like, I don't know, that's just fun. That's just a fun, stupid idea. And
honestly, considering how crazy some energy drinks are these days, I would not be surprised.
Exactly. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, So if I had to rank them, I'd go Haunt House, then I'd go the wraparound segment, then I would go the one that was in Spanish with all the eyeballs, then I'd go... Wait a minute. There's 6 of these. I'm only thinking of 5. Yeah, there's 6. What the hell am I forgetting? Oh my God, you were right. You do just forget the like whatever ones.
Mm-hmm.
The first one. Oh, Coochie Coo. God damn. Okay. Oh, I don't even know what's at my bottom now anymore. Because the more I think about that one, the more I really don't like it. Okay, so top for me is Haunt House, then the wraparound segments, then the one in Spanish, then... God damn, this is just 3 losers back to back for me. I'll go Funhouse, Coochie Coo, and then Kid Tape. What about you? Can you rank them?
I don't know. I just know that the Haunted House one was my favorite, and I kind of wish that, like, I like the commercial for the Diet Phantasma. I don't know if
Not the rest of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, understandable, because I wasn't feeling it either until it got towards the end. And that's when I just started laughing at. Because in the beginning, I was trying to take it a little bit seriously. But then towards the end, when I was like, okay, I get what you're going for. I was like, okay, I was a little bit more on board with it by then. So not the strongest VHS, but shockingly had one of the strongest segments in my mind. But yeah, there you go. This is a yearly thing that Shudder does now, so we might come back and do VHS every year for Thorgiween. We might do a VHS theme week, because there's so many of them that we could do. All right. There you go, everybody. Hey, Peach. Come back tomorrow. Tomorrow's it. Tomorrow is Halloween itself.
Yes.
Yes, so we're actually going to do it. So we have finally actually made it through all 31 days. Come back tomorrow for the titular movie of the year, Halloween. See you then, everybody.
Bye.